School Annual Day Horror Story. This incident occurred with Norman when he was studying in high school. He had a best friend named Gary, who was quite studious and was very popular among the teachers. Gary was also the school prefect, whose job it was to make sure the students maintained discipline when their teachers weren't around. It was the annual day celebration at school. They were sitting in their classroom, chilling, when it suddenly started to rain. While they were talking, Gary started to narrate some spooky stories. They were making fun of the school's activity room, which was rumored to be haunted. Norman and Gary went to the activity room to have some fun and started to make weird noises. Gary's back was facing the door when Norman saw someone knock from inside the activity room. When he told this to Gary, he made fun of him. Then suddenly, Norman felt that someone went past him at lightning speed. By the time they turned, they saw someone already enter the activity room. They couldn't see the person's face, but the appearance of it resembled that of a shadow. Norman and Gary went quietly. They exchanged a look and walked towards the door. It was evident that both of them were now a little scared. When they went a little ahead, they heard a strange sound which spooked them even more. There was a lock placed on the door, and it seemed as if the activity room had been closed for years. They gathered some courage, knocked on the door, and even called out if somebody was in there. But there was no response. Gary suggested that they go to the classroom adjacent to it and try peeping from that room's window. Maybe they'd get a glimpse of someone from there. They both went into the other room, and Norman tried peeping through the window. The rain had gotten heavier, and it was also dark, making it difficult for Norman to see anything clearly. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck, and in that moment of blazing light, Norman saw something that brought his heart to his mouth. He saw a boy hanging in the room. His eyes were popping out. His entire body had turned blue, and it seemed as if he was looking at Norman. He let out a loud scream, and the body jumped on Gary. Gary didn't see anything, but seeing Norman like this, he got really worried. They decided to go downstairs and tell all of this to a teacher. They brought their class teacher along and opened the activity room. When the room opened, there was nothing spooky inside. The teacher gave them a dirty look and thought that the kids were playing a prank on her. She scolded them and went back. They were stunned to see that everything was so normal in that room. They were about to leave when the doors of the activity room shut on its own. It could have been because of the wind, but Norman and Gary didn't bother to wait there and ran for their lives. For the next 3 days, Norman and Gary didn't go to school until today. Thinking of that incident brings shivers down their spine. They could never understand what actually happened that evening. Who was that kid hanging in the room? And what Norman saw that evening, was it even true? What do you think? Comment below. And if you like the story, then hit the like button right away and subscribe to our channel, Bloody Monday, and keep watching horror stories every week.